If you want to change your life in 1 year, then start by letting go. Release all of your tension and resentment towards yourself for everything that's happened in the past. Accept that you've been who you've been up until now and decide that it's a blank slate. You can start from zero. You can start without all the baggage and without all the trauma and without all the things that have happened to you up until now. See, the problem is if you try to drag your past into your future, then it messes it up instantly and you don't even have a shot at performing to the level of which you're aiming for. So what's going to happen is you're going to hold yourself hostage and you're going to create a lot of pressure in your mind because there's so much bad. There's so much negativity. There is this overload and overwhelm of feeling sorry for yourself or regretting. And we can't bring all of that into the new version of you. What we have to do is get clarity on the type of person that we want to become. So who do you want to be? What character traits do you want to possess? What type of person do you wish to show up as? How do you want to treat the people around you? How do you want to behave in the environment that you're in? And how do you want to feel? This is so important. If you could just get that part down, the rest will actually come rather naturally. One thing that I used to ask my clients a lot, and I still do from time to time, is how do you need to feel in order to do what you need to do? Now, I'm not saying that you can't just push through and do whatever needs to be done no matter what and use that power through mentality, that grinding, that hustle. Sure. But it's not very sustainable, and in the long run, you're going to feel depleted, you're going to feel drained. On the other hand, when you ask yourself how you need to feel to do what you need to do, you start by being in the right state, and you can control your state, you know? Sometimes we forget, right? We just get swept up by life and we think, oh, I feel like this because of what's happening to me, or this is my experience because of what happened in my childhood and I have this trauma, and so this is what triggers me and this is what upsets me and I can't really control that, I just have to try to manage it. But the reality is you have a lot more power than you give yourself credit for. Really look and examine. Can you decide what your mood will be today? For most of us, yeah, you probably could. Well, how? Just ask yourself, when's the last time that you felt happy? When's the last time you felt energized? And what was going on then? And what caused and triggered that? And then ask yourself, well, what can I do to recreate that or to create a new version of that? There's always a way. If you need to get really excited and fired up, and you want to do that every morning, you could probably put on a certain kind of music, maybe a motivational speech, right? It won't last forever, but as Zig Ziglar said, motivation is like taking a bath. You know, it doesn't last forever, but we still do it all the time, regularly, probably every day, so that we can stay clean. Well, you can decide what emotions you want to feel and you can build them up every single day. You can make a decision to say, I want to feel happy. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel excited, right? And then make the effort, go through the motions to make that happen. And if you're consistent with it and you keep putting yourself in the right state, in the right mood, creating the right feelings, then it's not going to be so hard to perform anymore. You see, even a really well-trained athlete, someone at the top of their game, if they're having a bad day, you'll see the performance falls apart. They go into a slump, a rut, and it's almost like they can't hit a single shot, or they're just running way slower than they usually would. It's almost like there's a dark cloud hanging over their shoulder. So I ask you, do you have a dark cloud hanging over your shoulder, hanging over your head, that's been chasing you around, maybe even for a few years without you noticing? Maybe it comes and goes, but maybe it's time to have a year where you're in control, where you're in charge, where you decide how you're going to feel today instead of what everybody did to you or said about you or how things are going in your life right now. Imagine if you showed up in a perfect state, in your best state, with your best emotions every single day. Do you think the world would stand a chance? Do you think your goals would even be a challenge? No, you would breeze through it and say, well, that was easy. What's next? But only when you dictate the tempo, when you are in charge of how you feel and how you show up, and what you experience is heavily filtered through that emotional lens. That's why I want to make sure that if you've been experiencing life through this pair of glasses that have muck and mud all over them, we need to get them cleaned. We need to see clearly. And if anything, let's make them rose-colored so that everything looks great and so that you have this inherent positive experience about everything that's happening in your life. Now, of course, set your goals, and especially daily ones, so you can track whether or not you're progressing towards where you want to be by the end of the year. But if you control your state, you'll have such a large influence over how you show up and whether or not you get it done. And that consistency and momentum will build so much that in the end, you'll feel like you're the type of person who easily gets what you want. Also, if you want to make that process even easier, I invite you to come work with me personally, have me coach you and hold you accountable, really create a battle plan for you so you know what you should be focusing on every single day, and then make sure that you follow through. Go to erafael.com and sign up for a free one-on-one consultation with me if you're interested in that. We'll talk, see if we're a good fit. Maybe we can work together. Again, if you want to jump on a one-on-one call with me, just go to erafael.com and you can book it there. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.